I don't know. All of these theories I think are possible, but I'm not sure. Hey guys, it's KJ from Disney Mom Life. Welcome back to my channel. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, ding that notification bell, and leave us a comment. You'll notice I do not have John or Winnie with me today, and that is because I'm doing a video that's a little bit different than what you're used to seeing from us. So for those of you that do follow us, I am going to be talking about the show Cruel Summer, and Cruel Summer is on Freeform, which is a Disney-owned network, so still keeping things under the Disney umbrella. But the reason I'm making this video today is because I'm a big fan of this new show on Freeform, Cruel Summer, and if you haven't heard of it, where have you been? It's a great show. If you have been watching Cruel Summer or you've heard anything about it, it's a little bit mysterious, or a lot of bit mysterious, and there's lots of theories floating around on different things about the show. However, there was one thing that really stood out to me, that when I was searching for different theories or ideas on what it could mean, I couldn't really find anything. So I thought, I'm gonna make a theories video about Cruel Summer myself. Hope that people will watch it and share their thoughts on what they think some of the theories could be surrounding this topic. So what's the topic I'm gonna talk about today? Annabelle. So again, if you are a fan of this show, then you know who Annabelle, well, maybe you don't know who Annabelle is, because we don't really know, but you know that there's some mysterious character named Annabelle, and I'd really like to figure out who this person is. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into a few theories that I came up with, that I saw or tried to put together based on my research online, and here we go. My first theory on who Annabelle could possibly be is that it's Kate's alter ego. I think this is a bit of an obvious one. I immediately thought it the first time she brought up Annabelle. They're sitting around the campfire with her family and their family's friends for their annual hunting trip. She shares the story of Annabelle, and it sounds really identical to what happened to Kate. So my first thought was, of course, that this was either Kate's alter ego, or she was talking about herself in the third person but just referring to herself as Annabelle. Well, the actor who plays Vince debunked this theory in a recent interview and said, no, it is not Kate's alter ego. However, I still think it's possible that it could be Kate in some way, shape, or form. So now we know mirrors play a big role in this show. There are mirrors in the basement where she is kept. So is it possible that to cope, Kate began talking to herself, knowing that at first it was her reflection, and then just sort of giving her reflection a name, calling her Annabelle, just so that she had someone to talk to? Because we know that there were times where she was screaming to Martin Harris, like, please talk to me. Like, she just wanted to talk to somebody, even her captor. So perhaps she started referring to herself, her reflection, as Annabelle. So that wouldn't necessarily be an alter ego, so we can kind of use that as a loophole. The other thing is, she did say that she didn't meet Annabelle until the day she was rescued, and also that Martin Harris sort of went a little off the rails the day she was rescued. Here's the thing though, Kate is not the most reliable narrator, as we know. Having been traumatized, severely traumatized, not everything comes back to her. She can't remember everything. So is it possible that she actually met Annabelle before the day she was rescued? Possibly. And if it is her reflection, somebody that she was talking to, well, then maybe she'd been talking to this reflection Annabelle for a while, but she just thinks that it was the day that she was rescued. So that's my first theory. Could be her alter ego. If what the actor is saying, the actor who plays Vince is saying, is true, that it's not her alter ego, then I think that's sort of the workaround, that maybe it was her reflection and she was talking to her reflection. Similar to how in Castaway, Tom Hanks' character has Wilson, the volleyball. He knows the volleyball is not actually a person, but in order to cope with being alone, he talks to Wilson. So that's sort of, you know, where I kind of came up with that theory from. Theory number 2 on who Annabelle could be. This one is somewhat far-fetched, but I think it's still in the realm of possibilities. Kate, we know, was taken for roughly the entire school year. So that's about, what, anywhere from like 8 to 10 months, somewhere in that vicinity, depending on how your school year functions, but about 8 to 10 months. Could she have gotten pregnant in that time? Could she have had a baby? Again, if we're talking about that she didn't meet Annabelle till the day she was rescued, I don't think that's possible, because if she had the baby, if she were pregnant and had a baby the day she was rescued, she would have been thoroughly examined. The doctors would have known that she had just given birth. I mean, having given birth myself and being pregnant with baby number 2, there's no way you can hide the fact that you just had a baby. So I don't think that if she did have a baby and the baby's Annabelle, that it would have been the day she was rescued. Would that have set Martin off? I'm sure. But hear me out. So if she did have a baby, could she have had the baby early? Now we know it's about 9 months for a baby to be born. If the baby were born anywhere from 24 weeks on, the baby does have a chance at surviving. But I'd say she'd have to be somewhere closer to like seven months for the baby to have survived without any kind of hospital attention. So could she have had a baby maybe the month before? Maybe. Could she have had the baby secretly and kept it for Martin, and Martin found the baby and went berserk? Maybe. Or could the baby have died and she just held on to the baby? I don't know. There could be just a lot of things where that could work, potentially. So could Annabelle be her child? Maybe. Again, a little bit far-fetched, but not out of the realm of possibilities. So in terms of debunking this theory, I do think the police would have found something, some sort of evidence that there had been a baby in the house. If she gave birth in the house, which is probably what would have had to have happened. There's a lot of, again, I've given birth myself, there's a lot of fluids and things that happen. So where, you know, maybe Kate kept, I feel like Kate would have had something on her clothing. Now Martin could have taken this, burned it, gotten rid of it, whatever, but I do feel like they maybe would have found some sort of evidence of a baby having been there. Or also when she was examined, I feel like they would have maybe found some sort of evidence that she had given birth within recent days or months. So in terms of debunking it, I'd say that's sort of the evidence we have going against it, that there was really no evidence that we know of that would prove a baby did exist or ever did exist. And if the baby's alive, where's the baby now? My third theory on who Annabelle could be is Martin's alter ego. Think Psycho. And when I think about the movie Psycho, I think about the one with Vince Vaughn. John would, you know, tell me that's not the Psycho movie, but that's the one that comes to mind, even though I've seen both of them. So think Psycho, think him dressing up as another character, and that may have been his way of coping. We know his father committed suicide, so maybe this Annabelle character could have been someone that he created to deal with that trauma, or there could have been other things that have gone wrong in his life that he created this character, or something like that. So could it be Martin's alter ego? And if it was, did he keep it hidden from Kate, and maybe the day that she was rescued he forgot to switch characters, or he was so deep into this, he's Martin, he's Annabelle, that he didn't realize he was Annabelle at the time and came down to the basement and either maybe saw himself in the mirror, or Kate saw him and said something, so he panicked and things went south from there. Or Kate tried to talk to him as Annabelle and it didn't go as well as she planned, and then he snapped back to being Martin and something like that. Possibly. It would depend on how deep into that character he was, how deep into that personality he was. Was it just somebody, is he split personality? Is it an alter ego? Again, the actor who plays Vince said that it was not his alter ego, but what if it was a split personality? That's not an alter ego. So maybe he could have some sort of split personality where he is Martin some of the time and Annabelle some of the other time. I don't know. All of these theories I think are possible, but I'm not sure how much I'm like, yes, this is it. So moving on then to theory number 4. Could Annabelle be Mallory? Mallory is, like many of our characters, a bit mysterious. We don't know too much about her, but she definitely is somebody that I am like, what's going on with you? There's more there. We know that she did film Martin Harris watering his lawn one day, fiddling with the sprinklers, and that Kate was in the window. A few things with Mallory being Annabelle. Could it be her alter ego? Maybe she's the one who saw Kate. If Kate really did see somebody, could it have been Mallory? You know, Kate could have been very confused, having been held in captivity. She knew Jeanette, Mallory, Vince, like she had seen them before, but maybe she sort of, you know, they're a grade younger, she's from the popular crowd, they weren't. So maybe she confused them and didn't realize like she actually saw Mallory and not Jeanette. Is it possible also that Mallory disguised herself and called herself Annabelle and went back to Martin Harris's house and tried to help Kate, and because she was unsuccessful, she just kept it a secret? I feel like there's something there that if we learn a little bit more about Mallory, you know, they did meet going to therapy, but maybe that was planned. Maybe Mallory knew she was going to therapy somehow, Or maybe they did just happen to both go to therapy, and it was just, you know, an opportunity that Mallory saw to befriend her. And that's why she's very protective of her and has become her best friend, because she feels guilty that she tried to save her but couldn't. Or there's something there that maybe she has to do with why Martin Harris held her. So could she have been this other character, Annabelle, maybe going to Martin Harris's house and disguising herself, calling herself Annabelle, so that she could try to rescue Kate in some way? Maybe. All these are theories, so they're all possible, right? What do you guys think? I mean, I don't know. This one, I actually do think this one could be possible, just because Mallory is just a very complex, interesting character, and we don't know too much about her. And I think, again, her befriending Kate, I think there's something there. I feel like there's some motivation other than her maybe trying to get back at Jeanette for abandoning her. I think there's something there. So whether she's Annabelle or not, there's definitely more to Mallory's story. Then my fifth theory on who Annabelle could be, and I think this one is probably very popular, I think that other people probably think the same as me, is that Annabelle could be a former victim of Martin Harris. I think it could be either maybe a high school girlfriend or a high school crush. We saw that he was really upset with Jeanette when she ran away from Gideon on their date. He really took offense to that and seemed to really take it personally, so maybe a similar experience happened to him. So there's something there, and could that have been Annabelle? Could he have had an experience with a girl named Annabelle and it didn't go well, and maybe he harmed her, maybe he killed her, maybe he just was rejected by her and no harm came to her and it just really stuck with him, and that's who Annabelle was? Or could it be a former victim of his from a previous school that he worked at? Is Annabelle in that yearbook somewhere? This show is like Pretty Little Liars and Lost, where things don't just show up and then not show up again. There's a reason that that yearbook is in this show. So it's going to come back to play at some point. So could that be where we find out who Annabelle is? Could it have been a former student, again, a former classmate of his? And maybe he's held this person captive also. There's just so much we don't know and so many possibilities. If he has a shed, is it like the movie Room, where it's just a shed where this person has lived? But then it's like, well, how did he get Annabelle from his former residence to the new residence? Could have drugged her and just put her in another location. And then maybe she got out and was trying to escape, and in all the confusion went down to the basement, and that's where Kate saw her, and he was panicked because there was somebody else. But the reason that this could possibly be debunked is just, where was this person kept this whole time? And wouldn't we have known that there was someone missing? Although maybe in a future episode we will find Kate searching for Annabelle, and we'll find she pulls up an old news story about someone named Annabelle so-and-so that had been missing or gone missing 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, however long. So it just remains to be seen. Those are my 5 theories on who Annabelle could possibly be. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think any of them make sense? I was trying to play devil's advocate and also debunk them in my own way, but I do think that each one of them could be possible. They're all theories, but I think, you know, some might be a little more far-fetched than others, but I do think one of the 5 could potentially be what happens. I did read somewhere, it was what either the creator or one of the writers had said that, and if I can find the article I'll link it, but that the ending is going to throw a lot of the audience way off and come way out of left field. So she did say not everybody. She said it's going to throw a lot of people off. So maybe I'm not one of them that's thrown up. I don't know. Or maybe I will be. So the ending could really be a curveball. Will it have to do with Annabelle? Will it just come down to who's telling the truth, Jeanette or Kate? Are they both telling the truth? Are they both lying? We're just gonna have to watch and find out. So if you guys did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, ding that notification bell, and leave a comment. Let me know in the comments down below, like I said, what your theories are. Do you think any of mine are far-fetched? Do you think any of them are possible? Do you think any of them might have some truth to them, but you have your own theory or spin on one of them? Let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know if you like this type of video, again keeping it under the Disney umbrella of Freeform, which is a Disney-owned network. Let me know if you want to see anything else any videos like this. There is one more episode coming out, the finale, so maybe I'll do something on that. We'll see, but let me know if you'd want to see that. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You know that I'm the queen of